Hey, Tom here with Prove It, and today I'm taking a look at this 30 quart cooler from BougeRV. It works on both your DC applications plugging into your car, either a 12 volt or a 24 volt system, or it will plug into the wall in your typical outlet. They were nice enough to send this one to me for free in exchange for making this video. So here's what I'm going to show you in this video. I'm going to show you all the features. I'm going to show you the various plugs. I'm going to show you the modes that'll let this keep running even when you're not in your car, the optional battery system that you can purchase to run this thing outside of your car, and the various modes of operation. So first off, I'm going to point to a little disclaimer they have here. When you first unbox this thing, it may or may not have been upright the entire time when it was shipped, so they say to let it sit upright for at least 12 hours. So we did that. I had it set upright inside. Next, get your various power cords here. So here's your standard wall outlet power cord. You can see I have the 12 volt plugged in here in the back of this 4Runner, and this is an older 4Runner. I actually have it running because it does not maintain that 12 volt power there unless I got the key on. It does have one other cord here that's going to look like a short 12 volt cord, and this is actually to hook up to the battery compartment here. If you purchase the optional battery accessory, it'll plug in through there and come down here and hook in right there. So that's an awesome feature. I do not have the actual battery pack, but if you were to have it, it's essentially a 266 watt-hour battery pack that'll go in there and have the capability to keep this thing cool for several hours if you're out of your car at a kid's sporting event or a picnic or whatever. And so that's a really awesome option to have that you don't see with all these. Likewise, since you can run this off of a standard outlet, if you have a portable power station of your own, you could absolutely use that to run this thing for a couple of hours or several hours depending on the watt hours of your individual device.
So I've had this thing plugged into the car for roughly 45 minutes now. We started at 71 degrees temperature. It took about 10 minutes before we really started noticing a change. By 30 minutes, we were down to 32 degrees. And now at 45 minutes, we're all the way down to 7 degrees. Now I have it dialed down to its lowest setting, to all the way to -8. I think we'll be there by the 1 hour mark, plugged into 12 volt, which is pretty impressive. Definitely cold enough to freeze stuff. Now see here on the display, this M is for medium. There's a high, medium, and low protection setting for your battery. Say you have this plugged in and the vehicle is off. Those various modes are going to keep it from running your battery completely dead. So that high mode is going to have an 11.3 volt cutoff, where it shuts the cooler off. The medium mode is going to have a 10.1 volt, and the low mode 8.5 volt. Now 8.5 volts, probably not starting your car if you run it down that low. If you have a jump starter or something with you, that's not a big deal. The medium mode is the standard mode. For me, I'm probably just gonna stick it on high if I'm ever leaving the car, just out of an abundance of caution. But there's some things you could do if you're running it while you're driving that, you know, help bail you out anyway. If you stick some bottles of water in there with whatever else you have, let those freeze. That's some added protection, added cold time for the cooler. Also, with multiple plugs, if you're staying at a hotel or something, you don't have to leave this in the car. You can bring it inside your hotel, plug it in there, and you got more fridge space or good freezer space than you would have in the typical refrigerator unit in a hotel room. Now the other thing, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it because the display doesn't show up very good on the phone, right here it says max. So there's a max or an eco setting. That max setting is going to draw 60 watts. The eco setting is going to draw 45 watts. So these cooling times I gave you, that was on the max setting. Obviously the eco setting, drawing less power, is probably going to cool a little less fast. To me, the ideal thing would be, if you're planning on packing this thing up in the car, plug it into the wall in the house before you leave. Let it get cooled down to your temperature, and then you can plug it in the car. You could probably run it on eco and hold your temperature no problem. You're not putting all that stress to cool it down on your car. You plug it into the power grid and get it cooled down before you leave. So down to 5 degrees in about 50 minutes. Still humming along. This thing's definitely quiet enough that if you're driving down the road, if you have so much as the air conditioner on or the radio or anything, you're not going to hear it. I can't hear it at all. Just the road noise alone is louder than this thing. They say 45 decibels. I've seen some others test it, and the most they tested out of it was maybe 50 decibels. So again, very quiet. You're not going to be a bother sitting in the back of the car. And if you're so much as talking in a quiet car, you're not going to really hear this thing or notice it. Here on each side of the cooler, you're going to have a hand slot there for picking it up and carrying it. You're also going to have these notches right here for tie downs. It's also an optional carry strap you can purchase that fits in here. But then on this end, you're also going to have a bottle opener. Top, kind of a slotted no slip section there, and 4 little cup holder holes there. Then there's that battery compartment we talked about earlier. Even if you're not using this battery compartment, you can, there's actually a foam insert in here. Pop those out and have a couple additional cup holders right there. Whether you're taking a road trip, going out on the boat for the day, or you're just a blue-collar guy like me who works out of his truck all day, I can see this cooler being super helpful. Just not buying that daily $2 or $3 bag of ice is going to make this thing pay for itself in a hurry. Take a look, check it out, see what you think.